Afroman is everywhere, and now he's going to be on Piers Morgan.
Good morning, everybody. The Hungry Hustling American Dream, Afro Money Making Marijuana Smoking MAN. Want to thank everybody that came down to New Albany, Indiana last night. The court case threw off the normality of my life. I'm usually packed up and everything's running smooth. But instead of me being able to pack up and coordinate everything, I was fighting in court right before the tour. Then after the court, I didn't know the court case was going to get that much attention. I knew it was going to get some attention, but I didn't know it was going to get that much attention. So after the court case, everybody wanted to talk to me. Fox News, CNN, everybody. And as a rapper, you know, as an entertainer, you trying to blow up. That's what you trying to do. So, you know, I can't tell the TV stations I ain't got time to be a superstar. You know, anyway, I did all these interviews and everything, and I basically had a day and a half to pack for a...
So basically he is on his tour right now. And now his media tour has stopped at Piers Morgan. And here's the interview right here.
In the end, this came down to free speech, right? This whole thing?
Yes, sir.
Why was it so important to you?
Well, that's the only power the little man has, in my opinion, in America. But that's the only power the little man needs to get justice. You have freedom of speech. You can address the problem and possibly solve it from there. But if you don't have freedom of speech, you can't even let people know there is a problem.
This all started when...
This is so true, man. Him speaking out against those cops, maybe it's going to encourage other people to speak out, to be vocal, but at the same time, you know, you risk litigation, it looks like, if cops try to sue you for defamation.
They came and raided your home for no stated purpose at the time. What do you think they were looking for?
They said narcotics and kidnapping victims.
Really?
Yes.
Did you have any kidnapping victims in your house?
No, sir.
Have you ever had any kidnapping victims in your house?
No, sir.
So what was this all about? Why were they doing this?
Some girl, she got arrested. And I believe they call it swatting. But if you give up some information on somebody, they'll let you go. So she lied on me. I'm a rapper in this little town. She told them that I had Dungeons and Dragons and I had pounds of marijuana stacked up from the floor to the ceiling. And then they let her go. They take her word for whatever she said, and they came around there like the U.S. military, kicking down my door, cutting off cameras, and stealing my money.
Now, here is the warrant right here. We could look at some of the stuff she said. On August 21st, 2022, during a conversation, confidential informant stated that she has known Afroman for approximately 10 years, where she originally started working as Afroman's personal assistant. She continued to state she routinely traveled the United States with Afroman to concerts and marijuana dispensaries where they would obtain large amounts of marijuana to be transported back to Adams County, Ohio. She further stated she and Afroman have been intimate for approximately 8 years, where she is being confidential informant number one, visited the farmhouse being Afroman's residence. She stated during these last 8 years, she has consistently observed large amounts of money and marijuana at Afroman's residence. She further stated Afroman has a basement referred to as a dungeon in which he, being Afroman, keeps women locked in, forcing them to urinate and defecate in a bucket as punishment for upsetting or disobeying him. This sounds like something straight out of a movie. She further stated she was the last at Afroman's residence approximately 1 month ago, where she, being confidential informant number one, observed a female known as Joe exiting the dungeon. Confidential informant one described Joe as a short, dark-haired woman, possibly Hispanic. She also indicated she believed Joe is from California, although Afroman paid confidential informants a strange husband to pick up Joe in Mississippi. Yeah, total hogwash. Let's get back to the interview. But some judge rubber stamped it. And, you know, the girl's story actually changed before they actually did the raid. But the cops were so thirsty to raid it, they didn't notify the judge of that.
And you decided the best way to exact revenge from this was to take to music, which is your art form, of course. And you were pretty like full on with them in these disses you did. Let's take a listen to one. This is one called Lickum Low Lisa, which involved a lampooning of several of the deputies, including Lisa Phillips. Let's take a look.
Now, look, I'm not going to let this play because I don't want a copyright claim, but go watch it. This was so good. She had to listen to this in court, and she does have a deeper voice, and she says she always had a deep voice. And Afroman during this is just looking at it as if this is his Mona Lisa painting being displayed for all to see.
Now, Lickum Low Lisa clearly wasn't amused by your diss, but in the end, the court wasn't buying it. They felt that you were protected by your First Amendment to do what you did, right? You had a free speech right to express yourself in the way that you chose to do that. They seem to have a massive sense of humor failure, the sheriffs.
Yes, sir. They were poor sports. I believe that they are the type of people that don't shake hands after the basketball game. I didn't make a song with anger. I didn't say F the police. I didn't tell people to go out and kill them. I sung silly, slightly humorous songs about him looking at my pound cake. Jokes. These are police officers. These are tough people. They're supposed to have thick skin. And I figured I was doing something legal. I was up, I wasn't happy about my house being damaged, but they didn't want to pay for the damages. I am a rapper, so to pay for the damages, I made a rap album designed specifically for paying for the damages. I could monitor the album and make sure I raised the money for the damages.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the whole Afroman interview segment on Piers Morgan. As you see, he is literally in his car. So I can't imagine, a full sit down, but I would love to see Afroman do a full sit down interview when he comes off tour. Cause right now he's touring. So, he got to get in where he fit in, and the people like the platforms like Piers Morgan got to take him when he's available. But what do you think of the Afroman interview in the comments section? Let me know. See you next video. Peace.